WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We're into the final segment here. This is my favorite part because it's the part we get to have the crab cake. We've been jibber-jabbing about Music City and taxes and reform and councilmen and delegates and floods and fires and 100-year storms. And now we bring the legal department in. Lou Weinkam is here to give us some family law. And Evan Brown has returned, along with former Baltimore County executive and de facto mayor of all things, Catonsville. And we're going to celebrate crab cakes. You show up just in time to eat.
Perfect.
Before we jump to Lou, we got Evan who jumped back in here. We've been here now for several hours. Evan, it's insane, man. People have been lined up all morning to get in, coming and going. I'm going to ask Lou, but I'm going to start with you. What is the magic sauce that is State Fair that people just keep lining up day after day after day?
If I could answer that, I would be a bajillionaire.
Can Lou get a tent this big in front of his place?
Probably.
Right out
close the street.
Well, Evan, as a disclosure, I asked Don to ask you that question because it will steal whatever you're doing. So I know why you're not telling us now.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got Lou Weinkam, owner of Franco's, one of the great Italian restaurants right here in the middle of the village. Incredible food.
I got a Bookie and 2 slices of meatball and ricotta in my fridge.
And I want to say, Evan and I don't compete, and it's great to have the transition between both of those places. You know, if somebody wants a smaller in-house Italian food, they're going to go to us. They want a bigger, more American general food, they're going to go to Evans. So it's a great compliment to have.
It is.
Mexican. That's why I say you don't have to go anywhere. As so many people have said to me, and you both are now in this restaurant business in addition to your law practice. But I can't tell you the number of Catonsvillians, and Lou, maybe you react to this, the number of Catonsvillians who have said to me over the past year, 2 years, the great thing is they said, I don't ever need to leave where I live. In other words, I can walk. So many people don't even get in their cars anymore. They just walk up. And I know, for example, the other night, I know some folks who wanted to come here and they couldn't get in here. They said, okay, I'm going to go up to 818. Or somebody said, I'm in the mood for veal parmesan. Full disclosure, at Franco's, I'm fanatical about the veal parm. But
my cat likes the bookmaker.
Well, let me tell you about the bookmaker, and Lou knows the story of it. My wife and I, at least once a month, we got to go to. It's the bookmaker and the meatballs. And, I mean, that's it. We split the bookmaker, and we get the meatballs appetizer. Yep. But, I mean, what's your sense, Lou, about the restaurant? You survived like Evan did. Yeah. Are you sensing that you're coming out on the other side now?
There's no doubt about it. It was a grind-through year. And everybody ground through with being innovative in their own different ways of everything. And I feel very strong about this. And I'm talking off the camera, and everybody feeds off each other. If State Fair is packed, they go someplace else. If Franco's is packed, they go to other places. Everybody feeds off the difference. And I'll say, going back to Don's original point, 15 years ago, Friday night, Saturday night, Frederick Grove was empty.
Empty.
I know this, and that's the part of it that's just amazing. Yep. We brought Baltimore Positive out here 2.5 years ago, and there really is a story that I'm seeing people with masks, but I've held the camera up and shown how many people are here today. Evan, you couldn't have dreamed it this big without a pandemic, right? This tent would not be.
This wouldn't exist if the pandemic didn't happen. It was just, we had the right space for it. We did see the vision kind of with this lower patio here and front garage door. That you could
I saw that the first summer because you had those Italian lights out one night. I was driving back from Merriweather. Remember, I hit you, and I said, man, I'm looking for 11 o'clock, like a place to stop and get a little something. Yep. And I'm thinking that's exactly where State Fair's halfway home from Merriweather for me. Well, and we came by, and I was like, there's something different going on where I'm seeing girls and boys and people at 10:30 at night outside in the summer, and I thought, this is nice. And to be out here today, it really is celebratory for me. Today's my 2 week for my shot, so today's a big day. That's awesome. But we decided to do this with you as our friend. I told you about 6-8 weeks ago, so we're coming back to the patio, and it felt stupid then. It felt like we're never going back to the patio, And here we are, and we made it through this. Really.
Well, you mentioned the late night thing, Nestor, and I want to jump back to Evan, then I want to go to Lou. But the latest thing that I've noticed now, and it's not my demographic, okay, folks. It's not my demographic that's going to be in here at 12 or 12:30 or 1.
No,
probably is Nestor and Louis. But you now have this whole late night food thing going on.
Yeah.
I saw a late night pizza.
We're doing late night pizzas, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing with
Detroit
Catonsville.
style.
It's
Fat.
Detroit style, and again, when the flood first happened, everybody's like, you got to bring Portales up here. You have to do that. Franco's was here. Paulino's was here. I don't want to compete. They've done a phenomenal job so far. And again, when we do pizzas, and I've had Franco's Pizza plenty of times, I want to do it from 10 o'clock to 2 a.m. Just a late night bit. Doesn't compete against anybody. Doesn't do anything sort of crazy. And, we pay rent 24 hours a day. So we're open 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. So.
Well, you mentioned the pizza, Lou. Big seller at Franco's, the 4-cheese pizza. The fromage, right?
Fromage, yep.
The fromage.
So I went in the other day, and I called because I was on the highway. I was coming back from D.C. I'm like, I'm going to get a bookmaker for me and my cat. And, I ordered the pizza. I called back to order pizza, and it was pepperoni day. It was like $10.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, sausage was Tuesday. Like, you do a different day every day.
Is special. That's correct.
I gave you $6 extra and got the meat. I wanted the meatballs. I said to the kid, I get pepperoni or pizza, John. I want meatball pizza with you.
The funny thing about all our pizzas is everybody's got a favorite. Yep. So there's not, everybody says, I really love the arugula pizza is very popular. Because we put that much arugula, it's ridiculous.
It's a salad.
It's extremely
salad on a
it's
pizza.
Healthy. It's a healthy pizza.
Yeah, it's healthy pizza.
Right.
My grandson.
Is that possible?
My grandsons are addicted to the fromage.
Yes.
They like the
Everybody's
fromage.
addicted to something,
right.
But it's all different. So, there's like 30 things on there. 30 people have their favorite. But I will say the bookmaker, to me, is probably the king of all popular.
It's amazing. Well, it's
the best salad in the city.
I'm going to tell you.
It's the best salad in the city.
Thank you.
It is.
It's pretty remarkable, and the amount of shrimp.
You give me too many shrimp, and then I've told you don't like it when I talk about my cat. My cat loves shrimp, and she won't eat it from. I brought shrimp over for Faithley's, and I've steamed them. She wouldn't eat them. She likes your shrimp. Like literally, that's it. She wouldn't eat any other shrimp.
Sounds perfect.
It's a discriminating kitty.
Let's make sure that you like it too.
No, I love it.
Okay. All right.
I love it.
Okay, good. Okay.
No. Here's my wife wasn't here the other night, so I came home alone, and I didn't have my pants. I didn't have long pants on, and my cat will climb me to get to. Like, the minute I opened the little white box, all the shrimp were on top. And she was asleep, and I'm like sneaking it because I was trying to sneak it to put it in the refrigerator to get it out later. She was having none of it. And then of course I dumped the dressing on and the cheese and.
Well, in the midst of running a restaurant, you've had this from your dad on down, this incredibly successful family law practice.
Thank you.
Really, whenever anybody calls me and they say, I got an issue, call Lou, would you? He's the family law guy. Lou, has there been any changes or any challenges in family law as a result of a pandemic? Did you have to make adjustments, or did the kinds of questions change? Did people's issues change? What happened to family law as a result of the pandemic?
That's a great question. So we did not slow down at all, because what happened was people became more aware of issues of incapacitation or death for their themselves or their parents or whatever was going on. So
today's always a good day to sort all that out, right?
Yes,
today's always the best day, right?
As you well know.
I know very well.
Right. So it did big people a lot to say, I got to get it. And I've also said over the years, because we have a big community practice, I'll see people and they'll say, Lou, I got to come see you. And then I'll see them 10 more times. I got to come see you. So it's getting a will is always something that people put off.
Why is that, Lou?
It's just like,
because none of us think we're going to die.
Is that what it is?
Well,
we don't want to talk about it.
Don't want to. That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest thing is if your parents are sick, the kids are the ones that don't want to talk about it. It's not the parents. They're like, I know I'm going. It's the kids who the parents say, I want to talk to my children, and they won't meet with me.
Right.
The kids won't meet with me about, whatever. It's always the children who don't want to think of their parents.
Then let's build on that, because that was my question.
That's a lifetime of doing that, and that's a universal statement.
32 years is
that's
100%,
human. That's
100%.
being human, right? That really is.
Well,
none of us want to think of the death of our parents.
Well, and that was
you had to gather Jeff and today, and you'd say, "Come on over, we're going to see Lou. We're going to sit down." They'd be like, "Let's do that next week." But
Linda and I did that probably because we knew Lou and have heard him talk to him in the community, knowing how. And quite honestly, the reason that Linda and I did it, and this is where I go to my question for Lou, is that we both are real. We've seen friends come and go and die too young and whatever. We just didn't want the kids to be left with a mess with all of these questions, even in terms of end-of-life questions. I mean, what people don't think about, Nestor, I didn't want them to have to grapple with end-of-life questions. And these are the kinds of things that Lou works out as well in terms of
and they're hard conversations with you and your son.
Correct. So I didn't want to have. So Linda and I took care of that. But the question that I will get, Lou, and I'm always amazed, I'm telling you, my take is it doesn't discriminate in terms of socioeconomics or demographics. I've had the most educated people in the world say to me, I don't have a will. To me, there's no education.
How about this? I'll invoke Peter Angelos. Right. Every person close to him, because I've done a lot of research on him, because I have grave concern about the baseball team, right?
Right.
Every person I know close to him says he's been a lawyer his whole life. I bet he doesn't have a will. I bet he's the kind of guy that just would never address a thing like that. So when I've asked people, they're like, that there is no. But it was a guess about one of the wealthiest men here.
Yeah, that's my point.
Think like it.
I don't think it does discriminate, Nestor, and that's why I want you. Can you simplify, Lou, for our listeners, why it matters? Because I'll have people say to me, "Why do you worry about that? When I die, I'm gone, and they'll sort it out." Why is that the wrong attitude?
Yeah.
Break it down.
No, you're 100% right, and you will leave a mess for your children, and they've got to sort it out.
I'm the child, by the way.
And Nestor knows a little bit about it, but. You know, it will happen, and that does happen, and so you're looking ahead, Don, and that's what you need to be doing for everybody, because it doesn't really matter to you because you will be gone, but it's the legacy you leave behind. You could cost them thousands of dollars in taxes if you don't do things right. You could cost a lot of money in, protection of assets that, if you want to pass your assets on, it's for all those reasons. So I totally, as you go as a parent, you look at your kids, you've been taking care of them, doing all the things for them, you raise them. Why leave the one? Your last legacy is my dad left this estate and it was a mess. That's the last thing they're going to remember. You don't want that.
And they're already grieving, no matter what.
And they're already grieving. And the other thing that I wanted...
What does the mess look like, Lou?
Well,
when you say it's a mess,
well, you put your mom in a nursing home, and you have your name on the title from a personal experience, and you have your brother on the title, and your mother dies, and you're involved, and the state comes and says, we want a third of the tax for that. That's the kind of thing when you have the wrong lawyer. So they chase you around when your mother died with $1,800 in the bank with nothing, and they chase you around for $10,000.
That's just said it better than I could.
How about that? Was that good?
That's perfect.
Not that I know, and not that that's a real story or anything like that.
But asking for a friend.
It's excessive amount of paperwork. It's excessive amount of extra steps that you have to do. And then in the bottom line, it's excessive money that you didn't have to pay or your kids wouldn't have to pay if you did it the right way. And I wanted to add one last thing, because I'm very straightforward. A lot of people are intimidated by lawyers, and that's another reason why they don't come, and they're worried about expense.
That's why you don't dress up.
That's why this is me. This is me.
No, it's because you're on your way. You got to leave here in about 2 minutes to go coach lacrosse.
Yeah, but so if you want, if somebody's basic lawyer who's just going to be down to earth, that's what I specialize in. I will tell you what you need to know. I won't oversell it, and we'll just get down and get it done, and I get to the point.
And then you can have pizza with them.
And then I send them down and get Franco's Pizza. So
how do they find you? How do they find Weinkam?
Well, so my phone number is 410-744-3256. My email is loujr@weinkam, and my website is weinkam.com. So anybody can call me at any time. I would always be glad to take care of their calls and answer any questions at any time, no charge.
But one quick question, Esther, before you jump in. Lou, a lot of times, and Evan's a young guy. My son Jeff was here earlier. It seems to me that once you're married and have children, I don't care if you're in your 30s or 40s, you should have a will even if you're in your 30s or 40s. It's not something just for old people, right?
And that's one of the things that I do have a discount.
You'll leave a mess for your parents if you die, right? Literally, right?
That's exactly right. So I do have a special plan that's a little bit cheaper. It's called the Young Family Plan. So if you have young children, we'll get a guardian for the children, we'll get a trustee for the children, and we make it affordable so you can't say, I can't afford to do this. You really can't afford not to do it, because the illegal fees and expensive time of not having that set up is worse than an older person dying. That's the worst mistake, is to be young and not have your plan set up for your children.
I'm going to do a new ad for you, because I think the new ad's going to say, if you want to sleep better.
There it is.
Literally, you'll sleep better. You just will. You'll sleep better. You really will.
Take care of it. If you're out
Once
there,
you know about it and you do it wrong, you'll never want to do it wrong.
We'll put together the sleep together plan. You get the Will, you get a Franco's Pizza, and then get something from Evan.
Oh, man.
You got the whole
That sounds perfect.
And then they go, they get it done, they go to eat, they go to bed, and they're happy.
You get a Bookie, a crab cake,
Why the
and
hell
a
am I
Will.
going to sleep eating his late night pizza at 2 o'clock? I'll never go to bed.
No. I'll take the pizza first.
Yeah, I'll take the pizza.
He'll finish you off.
Yeah, we'll get you
and
some
then
chicken
you go
and
to
waffles.
Bed. Yeah, there you go.
Something late.
It'll be a nice, relaxing evening.
I want
Shrimp and
Brussels
grits.
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
It's a dream team trifecta plan there.
Well, Lou has to go coach lacrosse. He's gonna, hey, wait, real quick. Tell us, my son was on here saying to pray. You guys at Catonsville High School are fired up about this team.
Yeah,
you had a big win recently.
Yep. I coached the JV. We're 4-1. Varsity's 5-0. Varsity beat Towson in a close one yesterday. My boys lost a heartbreaker to Towson. We play Hereford on Monday, which is a big game for both of us. And the program is...
Did they show up an hour late, Hereford?
No,
Are they off that day?
They'll be there.
Oh, I'm just
They'll
checking.
be there.
They leave at 9 in the morning.
The weather's good.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey, Hereford will be there, and they'll be ready, but we'll be ready too.
They leave at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Several big-time players, right?
Oh, we got varsity players. I'm going to say this about the kids. They're good lacrosse players, but they're better kids as individuals. I never have to ask them to pick up any trash. They grab the bags. They say thank you. They sit in the stands. Parents leave and say, these kids are so respectful. They're just the best group of kids we've
Are there
ever had.
victory parties at Franco's?
We had one last night.
Nice. I like it. All right, nice.
Go Comets.
Let's go. Steve X. Let's go.
All right, so let's break. Evan, we're going to stay and we're going to eat this crab cake and we're going to do a whole segment on food. All right? On the tour. Good?
All right, there we go.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Good?
You're good, man.
We'll step out. We'll take a break. Don Moeller is here. We'll come back. Crab cakes for everyone. Evan Brown is here. Lou Weinkam, our sponsors, our friends. My appreciation.
Good luck.
Hey, man, you hear that meowing about Saturday night. That's still my cat eating no shrimp. I promise you, man. I put a lot aside for her. Got a Bookie in the fridge, and I got a crab cake coming next. I'm Nestor. Stick around. Crab Cake Tour, stop 3 in Catonsville after this.